Hello class, I am Robin, and today we are going to interview Robin. We're going to discuss things that we have learned in Willie Ermine's class and connect with it on a more personal level. So Robin, what does the phrase as above and so below mean to you? The phrase as above and so below means to me that we are all interconnected to everything in the universe. Animals, humans, the stars, the planets, everything is interconnected. Have you ever noticed how the irises of your eyes look like exploding stars? Or how a brain cell looks like a picture of the universe? Or how the birth of a new cell looks like a black hole forming? All these things are interconnected, but it's really hard to explain how. Nobody has the answers. We all feed off of good energy, bad energy too. The more bad energy you put out into the universe, the more negative of a lifestyle you're going to have. The more good energy you put out into the universe, the better chances you have of living a happy and fulfilling life. All energy feeds off of each other, whether it's between animals and plants. Our energy is filling us with happiness or it's filling us with misery. Either way you look at it, we're all interconnected. Very interesting, Robin. So, what does ethical space mean to you? Well, ethical space is about how we treat each other as human beings. There's so much brutality going on in the world right now that it makes me think that there are very few humans left that we could define as having good values or morals. Values and morals really is what keeps us afloat. You know, having good values and morals within life can help us lead fulfilling lives. But the world is losing sight of the value of humanity. With the elite going hard in power, religion is causing conflict, money is causing conflict, everybody wants to consume. Consume, consume, consume is what everybody tells you to do. I do not believe race or gender or religion makes someone a good person. You can all have different races, religion, or genders and still be magnificent people. But if you don't have the good fundamental values of life, then we're just going to destroy ourselves, essentially. Okay, not sure everyone will agree with you on that, but we'll move on. So, who does the world belong to? The world does not belong to who we think it belongs to. Essentially, everybody thinks that the world belongs to princes or kings or certain religions like the Pope and the elite. These things aren't what rule the world. The universe technically rules the world. Mother Nature rules the world. We can all be stricken from the earth so quickly by Mother Nature. We've all seen it. Tsunamis, earthquakes, everything. We've moved past a point where being ruled by kings and princes and religions, it's so outdated that if we don't modernize, we're going to be stuck in these times forever and we are going to destroy ourselves. Once again, not sure everyone will agree with you on that, but we'll move on to happiness. Make it a little more upbeat, shall we? Where does happiness come from, Robin? I don't know whether the universe with its countless galaxies, stars, planets has a deeper meaning or not, but at the very least, it is clear that we as humans who live on this earth face the tasks of making happy lives for ourselves. It is important to discover that we will bring about the greatest degree of happiness for ourselves. I believe compassion to be one of the few things we can practice that will bring immediate and long-term happiness to our lives. I'm not talking about short-term gratification like sex or drugs or gambling, although I'm not knocking them, but something that will bring true and lasting happiness. The kind that sticks, really. Who doesn't like sex, gambling, and drugs, really? But anyways, we'll move past that. What is the essence of religion or being, in your perspective, obviously? A good heart is all that matters. We can reject anything else. Religion, ideology, everything received through wisdom. But we cannot escape the necessity of love and compassion. This is my true religion. Our own hearts and minds are our temples. The doctrine of compassion is love for others and respect for their rights and dignity, no matter who and what they are. As long as we practice this in our daily lives, no matter if we are educated or uneducated, whether we believe in God or Buddha or another religion, as long as we have compassion and conduct ourselves with restraint out of the responsibility, there is no doubt that we can be happy. Interesting. So, what truly makes someone rich, Robin? Is it all the money? Money can't make you happy. Money can't make you rich. When you are discontent, you will always want more and more. Consume, essentially, is what the world is telling us to do. They think that if we buy all of this stuff, we're going to fill the holes in our hearts to be happy. You can decide, your desires can never be satisfied when you want objects to fill happiness. But when you practice contentment, you can say to yourself, oh yes, I already have everything that I need. We need to learn that what we want and what we have are really, we need steady, stable happiness in our lives. What we want and what we need are two different things. We need happiness. We want happiness. But sometimes people confuse these things with need for objects and the want for objects, or money even. This is not what will bring you happiness. This does not make you rich. What makes you rich is the things that you hold dear, your family, your friends. Only people in your lives can make you truly rich. Being loved and being happy in your skin can make you rich. Very interesting. How can we better ourselves through our struggles then? If we cannot get rich through money, can we get rich through other things? Hard times will build determination and our inner strength. Through them, we can also come to appreciate the uselessness of anger. Although anger does serve a purpose in our lives, anger can teach us many things. Instead of getting angry, though, try and be thankful for the trying circumstances that you're being put through, because they provide us with opportunities to practice tolerance and patience. Once you can deal with the anger in your life, you can move on to living a happy life. Very good. Once again, life is short to be what? What is life too short to be? Life is too short to be happy. To not be happy, sorry. Given the scale of life in the cosmos, one human life is just a tiny, tiny blob. Each one of us is just a visitor to this planet, a guest that'll stay for a limited time. Why would we want to spend any of our time being sad or angry or living in conflict? Surely it would be better to use our short time here living in a happy, meaningful way, enriched by our senses of the connection with others and helping them. Doesn't it make you feel good to help people? With the realization of our own self-confidence and potential, we can build a better world. Overthrow the elite. Just kidding. No, we really do need to practice happiness and kindness towards everyone. To be truly rich, we need to be happy. We need to have empathy. Great discussion. Moving on. Have you lost faith in humanity with all this talk that you want to overthrow the elite? Really, with the 6 billion humans on Earth, there are just a handful that are troublemakers. There will always be mischievous people on this planet, whether it's in the past, the future, or the present. We'll always have these variety of people that want to control us and cause harm to the world. Underneath it all, we are all good, but not everyone chooses to live that way. Oh, wonderful! I'm glad you don't want to overthrow the elite. Excuse me. So, is ignorance really bliss? Where ignorance is our master, there is no possibility for peace. I believe all suffering is caused by ignorance. People inflict pain on others out of their own selfish pursuits. It is their satisfaction to get ignorant, to create ignorance, really. Yet true happiness comes from a sense of inner peace and contentment. which in turn must be achieved through the cultivation of love and compassion once again. The elimination of ignorance, selfishness, and greed can essentially bring you to happiness. We should really reflect on the ideas, and since the beginning of the sentient... Let me start my sentence over again. We should reflect on the idea that since the beginning of time, sentient beings have been mentally unstable because they have been the slaves of delusion, all of us included. They lack the eye of wisdom and the path leading to inner peace. This is why the world is in such commotion. Ignorance really is not bliss. To find compassion and empathy and love for everything in the world can help bring you to bliss. You seem a little lost there for a minute, Robin. Let's bring you back. So, let's move on to the educational system. How do you view the educational system? Okay, well, I've always had this view about the educational system. We pay attention to brain development. As we all learn, psychology, everything, we're focusing on how the brain develops, really. But the development of warm-heartedness we take for granted. If you only have education and knowledge and lack the other side, you may not be a happy person. A good heart and a warm heart, a compassionate heart is still teachable. One problem with society today is that we have an attitude towards education that it is simply going to make you more clever, which really is not true. You cannot become an ingenious with just education alone. Even though our society does not emphasize this, the most important use of knowledge and education is to help us understand the importance of engaging in a more wholesome action and bringing about important disciplines in our minds. We need to be able to control our minds and the thoughts that pass through them. All those negative thoughts that you feel go through your mind every day need to be pushed back to bring about more happy thoughts and, bring about empathy and stuff. Teaching empathy would be a lot better than just filling children filled with what we call knowledge or education. The proper utilization of our intelligence and knowledge is to evoke changes within to develop a warm heart. You can't teach anything if your children do not have warm hearts, if they are not content in their lives. They will not learn anything. You seem rather certain of that, but okay. So, to teach children, how would you open their minds? I would urge people to investigate things for themselves. Don't just believe everything that you're told. Open-minded people tend to be interested in things like Buddhism, because Buddha urged people to investigate things. He didn't command them to believe what he wanted them to believe. He wanted everybody to question everything for themselves. He had no answers to give them, really. I will not propose that my way is the best, and just because I say something doesn't make it right. I urge you to question everything yourself. The decision is yours and yours alone. If you find at some point that maybe what I've said resonates with you and that you can use it in some way, then that's great. But if you find that my information is just useless, then by all means, dismiss it. You need to learn to think for yourself. We need to teach children how to think for themselves. We don't want to teach them what to think. We need to create young and healthy minds that can discover new things that we never thought imaginable. We need to know that there is no known answer for anything in this world, whether it's science or religion or the money system, society, hierarchy. Nothing is concrete. Well, that's good to know. So, how can we achieve self-actualization, Robin? Well, in my opinion, there's 6 steps, and it's kind of a lot to do with the Dalai Lama. He's a big inspiration for me. Step 1 would be to realize you are not the center of the universe. And for teaching children, this is going to be really hard for them because they're very egocentric at that age. And they want to believe that they are the center of the universe. Sometimes they don't even realize that what they did hurt another person. They can't put themselves in someone else's shoes. So we really need to teach them how to do that. Otherwise, we're going to grow up with a bunch of egocentric adults that are just going to destroy the world, and everybody's going to hate each other. Like, what's the fun in that? Step 2 would be by knowing that you can achieve your goals, but it'll always be harder than you ever thought. No matter how good something looks at the end of the tunnel, if you want it that bad, you're going to have to go through a shitstorm to get there. Because anything worth having never came easy. I can tell you that for sure. I've been through a lot, and you know what makes it worth it in the end? To have to struggle and achieve those goals, it makes you really feel like you've accomplished something in life. Step 3 would be the things that matter most in life are spiritual, not physical. And this doesn't mean that I'm talking about religion when I say spiritual. I'm talking about the spiritual relationships that you have with people, the connection. You know, having people around that you love and feel good about, that you don't need to sit around on your cell phones while you're with them or watch TV. You can just genuinely enjoy being with them. Those are the things we need to cherish in life. Step 4 would be, you always have critics. No matter whether you're the nicest person on the planet, whether you do things by the book, whether you're, you know, a single mom, a dual income family, you know, everybody's going to criticize you. Whether you're gay, straight, have weird hair, put piercings in your face, like, people are always going to judge you. And that's okay. You don't need to pay attention to those critics. You just need to accept that will always be critics. And it's okay. It's okay that people don't like you. You're not here to please everybody. As long as you have those people that love you around, that's all that matters. Step 5 would be failure. If you have not failed in life, you haven't lived. Failure is important in the learning process. This guy's being noisy. Failure is important in the learning process. You have to fail to know that you've learned something. To be able to get up and try and try and try again after you've been knocked down how many times is the best learning experience you will ever have. You will gain so much knowledge and so much wisdom from just those experiences alone. And when you finally accomplish what you kept failing at, it's going to feel great. Comes back to, you know, step 4. You'll always have critics, and, you know, it's all interconnected, just like the universe. Step 6. You don't always have control over everything. You need to let go of controlling people, controlling choices, you know. Live for you and you alone. But even then, realize that you are not going to be able to control every aspect of your life. There's going to be hard times. And, you know what? Laugh it off. Find the humor in the situation and get over it. Because if it's not good, then it's not the end. And the end is really... Do you want it to be the end? I don't want it to be the end. But just don't be so harsh on yourself. Know that, you know, control is just an evil thing, really. No one has control over you. No one has control over your life. Neither do you. Okay. You seem to be rambling a bit now. I think we got you warmed up. Let's move on. So, how can you develop your intuition? Is it really important? Well, developing your intuition is a discovery, the rediscovery of yourself. We're all born with our intuition. Just as you get older, you slowly start to bury that part of yourself. Society doesn't like this part. Your intuition is not something that can be destroyed or lost. We are all born with a strong inner connection and our intuitive senses, but as we grow older, we typically suppress or ignore these messages because of logical and rational thinking. This is reinforced by society, everywhere, which generally places little value on intuition, thinking it is nothing more than crude emotional reaction to external stimuli, which cannot be farther from the truth. intuition is actually vastly more powerful and complex than rational and logical thinking, which is highly limited by the belief structure of a person's mind. Intuition, on the other hand, taps into a larger, more multidimensional part of the body. It gives you awareness and knowledge to give us highly specific guidance into situations that we may not really know anything about, but your body is always telling you what to do, what is right for you. It can see into the future and guide us toward and help us avoid calamities. It can steer us in the right directions. That gut instinct, it's always there. It can help us with personal growth and to achieve our dreams. There's nothing that's going to push you further than your own intuition, knowing what is right for you. However, in order to take full advantage of your intuition, we must trust it deeply. A lot of people, especially adults, fight this. Doubt is the enemy of intuition. It is the single biggest hurdle we must overcome when learning to deal with our intuition. And trust our inner guidance. Okay, so we've discussed a lot of random things today, Robin. And some people may be wondering, how does this even relate to this class? So, how does this relate to the curriculum? Well, curriculum is everything we teach. It's all the stuff that's inside you, it's all the stuff around you, it's everything the government provides us. But curriculum is everything because curriculum is everything about you, we must remove any prejudices we have of, homophobes, race, gender, everything. Social class. The prejudice has to be removed. We need to teach how to be warm-hearted people so that our students can be happy in their lives. And I know that's the main word I've been using this whole presentation is happiness, happiness, happiness. But we got to teach everybody how to be happy. I wish somebody would have taught me these things when I was so young. Nobody ever taught me how to control your emotions, that having critics is okay, that, failing is okay. A lot of us have so much pressure on us to be perfect. We need to teach people that perfection is impossible. If you can do all of this, myself included, which, it's a lot easier to sit here and say it than to get in there and do it. But if we can practice this and we can teach our students to be empathetic, happy, warm-hearted people, we will be the best teachers that the world has ever seen. So, with a little quote from the Dalai Lama, because I like him so much, share your knowledge. It is the only way to reach immortality. Thank you for listening, and I hope you took something from